If I see her, I can be her. Well, if they don't see you, how do they know that they can be you? So to me, being seen, being a thought leader, stepping into the spotlight, it's all about stewardship. It's how we ensure that our work reaches the people that it's meant to help.
Can we do it?
Hello, and welcome to the Influential Women Podcast, where we empower, connect, and inspire women who are leading, creating, and redefining what's possible. I'm your host, Jody O'Brien, and today we are here with the amazing KJ Blattenbauer. She is a renowned PR expert, founder of Hearsay PR, an author, and a business owner. And truly your ultimate hype girl. We need her in our lives. Today's conversation is all about PR, how it's changing, why it matters for everyone, and how it connects to building your personal brand. At Influential Women, our mission is to give women a platform to share their achievements, amplify their voices, and build thought leadership. KJ's work perfectly aligns with that mission, helping people tell their stories with purpose and credibility. So let's dive in and talk about the power of PR, storytelling, and visibility with KJ Blattenbauer. KJ, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Well, it's such a joy to have you here with us. You've built an incredible career helping others be seen and heard. How did your journey in public relations begin? And what drew you to the work of helping women stop playing small?
I think I fell into public relations on accident. I am from a very small town. I was the girl who was always in trouble for talking too much. But when you small town people will know, you know, everyone's famous in a small town. Everyone hears about your business. And so I think I learned the power of persuasion or skewing things in my favor at a young age. I started my traditional career, behind the scenes at a major PR agency, and I was helping other people with their name in the spotlight. My clients were on magazine covers, they're on morning shows, and I was in the back, hunkered down behind the camera, just making everything happen quietly. One day a client was accepting an award I'd helped her win, and I realized that my work was visible. It was everywhere, but I was invisible. And that has kind of been a turning point for me. I knew if I wanted my work to make a real impact, I had to be seen too. I had to take what I apply to my clients and use it for myself. And so that realization has led me to help women make that same shift from invisible operator to recognized authority, because the world doesn't reward what it doesn't recognize. And so I like helping women speak up.
My goodness, how inspiring. So, one of the most important parts, of the Influential Women in our platform is giving women a space and a voice to share their expertise and be recognized as thought leaders. So, from your perspective, how do you define thought leadership and how does it connect to the work that you do in PR?
I think the invention of social media has been wonderful for society. I also think that there's some detriment to it. With that, everyone can be an expert. What I think about thought leaders is they are people who truly are good at their craft and they're coming at it from a place of service, of wanting to help others. They just might not know yet or are on the cusp of sharing their story. And what I like to use PR to do is to help the true experts, the people who really know what they're talking about, the ones that have success that can be replicated and they can help the next person in line move up, is put their story out there. Get them that good housekeeping third seal of approval. Because I might tell you that I'm a PR expert, and you might be like, okay, well, I see you're posting a lot about PR. But if you hear it from a peer you admire, if you see me on your TV, if you see other people on social media talking about me, having that sort of Yelp review for my personality or what I offer, that makes me a thought leader. And I think that those sort of the third party validation that public relations can provide, I think, is what sets up the experts on social media who just want to talk and talk and talk without the true stats to back things up.
Well, how do you think that strategy creates a stronger brand and trust than that traditional self promotion?
I think it's because it's not about ego. It's about access. It's not just showing off like, I'm successful, I'm smart, I know what I'm talking about. You're literally paving a path and creating the pathway for others. So every time a woman shows up visibly and confidently and speaks to what she's an expert in, she expands what leadership can look like for the rest of us and for the next generation. It's that phrase, if I see her, I can be her. Well, if they don't see you, how do they know that they can be you? So to me, being seen, being a thought leader, stepping into the spotlight, it's all about stewardship. It's how we ensure that our work reaches the people that it's meant to help.
I love that. I love that. And I'm a big person on storytelling. Like that's where I come from on that angle. So I love that that's really the basis of what you're speaking about is that story and how to convey that. So is that one practical way that professionals can start building that kind of trust is to tell their stories?
Sure. I mean, some practical ways that they can build trust is to first just pick a platform. Pick one platform and show up one time. Share your story, share an insight, post about it, comment thoughtfully. Don't overthink it. Just show up as you are and come from a place of service because you can't be recognized for work that the world doesn't see. Visibility isn't a one-time event. It's like when you go to the gym. I want to go to the gym and I want to work out one time and I want to look like Elle McPherson. That is not going to happen. You have to go to the gym and keep going, and then you're going to build healthy habits. Visibility is the same way. Showing up, putting yourself out there, same thing. It's not a one time event, it's a leadership habit, and you have to keep training yourself to just show up. But if you pick one platform, a couple minutes a day, a couple times a week, you're going to build a habit consistently. You're going to show up consistently. People are going to notice, and you're going to become recognized.
Many people think that PR is only for entrepreneurs or for big brands, but can you talk about why it's equally valuable for executives, professionals, and women growing their careers inside organizations?
Look, as women, we're taught to don't self promote. We're taught to work hard, let our results speak for themselves. But results can't talk. And that conditioning runs so deep that I think we've confused humility with invisibility. And we worry that self promotion will look vain. But at the same time, visibility builds credibility. And so if you're going to show up and be visible, it's not the opposite of being authentic. They go in hand, they're partners. When you consistently show up and you share your perspective, people learn to trust you, and that's credibility. And I think for entrepreneurs, for people who want to keep growing in corporate America and people who want to start their own thing outside of corporate America. It's building up your personal brand. It's letting people know enough about you. Like, I'm not saying you have to share your world. You don't have to have a reality show like the Kardashians, but you need to let people in enough so they learn what you believe, what your thoughts are, what you are the expert in, because they have to learn to trust you. They have to build that credibility. And it's not about being everywhere. It's about being intentional. One aligned article, a thoughtful podcast, a powerful post here or there on LinkedIn, each becomes a breadcrumb that's going to lead you back and put you as an expert and help elevate your platform, which will then help elevate you towards your goals you want to achieve.
That's great advice. I mean, amazing breadcrumbs for sure. So, for someone who doesn't own their own company, what does personal branding through PR look like? And how can that help them in their careers?
Yeah, I think it's a mindset shift and it's developing some practical habits. There are visibility, developing your personal brand, and public relations. It really boils down to three things: clarity, consistency, and credibility. It's a foundation of what I kind of call my pitch worthy framework. It's clarity, it's knowing exactly what you want to be known for. If your message is muddled or you're all over the place, your audience can't connect with you. So, whether you want to start your own thing or whether you want to stay in corporate America, know what your main goal is and keep everything on point with that. If it doesn't align you or bring you closer to your goal, you're muddying the waters. Clarity, straight to your goal. The second thing is consistency. If you show up regularly, you're going to achieve your goals. Visibility compounds with rhythm, not volume. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. You have to keep being consistent day after day. If you're clear on what you know and then you're consistent, you've got a great foundational basis for getting to where you want to be. And the next is credibility. Just choose the right platform, right? So the goal isn't to be everywhere. If you want to grow in corporate America, you're not tweeting left and right on X, right? You're not going to post this hot take about this and that hot take about anything unless that's what you want to be known for and that's going to help progress your career goals, right? The goal is it's not to be everywhere. It's to be trusted somewhere. So pick your platform. I have a lot of clients. I have I have authors, I have coaches, I have women in the C suite, and they just want to stand out in their organization and finally get recognized for the work they're doing. And so we're real clear on their goals. They want to advance in corporate America or outside corporate America. We know that they have to do things consistently. So we help build a program for that, for how do they show up consistently when they don't have any time to show up at all. And then we build the credibility. It's not just about speaking up in meetings, it's about people seeing your name in a repetitive fashion associated with what you want your goal to be that's going to elevate you and move you forward.
LinkedIn has changed, and I wonder your take on how it has changed and how you're taking those C suite executives and really positioning them in a way by using LinkedIn.
I'm not a LinkedIn strategist, so I just want to put that caveat here. I like to use it sparingly. I myself am barely on LinkedIn. I barely post on LinkedIn. I don't find clients on LinkedIn. It has not been my social media platform of choice. But for my corporate executives that do use it, for the businesses that do use it, I want them to be helpful and beneficial. I want them to do the 3GT rule, which is 3 gives, 1 take. So I want them to share their unique thoughts. I want them to share articles they like, repurpose them, and then have a comment or two that's insightful, not just like, this was fun or providing this without comment. I want them to be like, Starbucks published the Bear Cup today. Some people are mad they couldn't get one. It's an interesting story in how psychological marketing plays into what people buy. Things that start to engage their audience, not asking them for contrarian takes, not asking them for hot takes, but things that spur a conversation. And I want them to give and give and give 3 things that will help other people on the platform before they ask for anything, before they ask them to check out this article where I appeared or vote for me for this award or buy what I'm selling. I want you to give people 3 things on the LinkedIn platform. And I think that that goes a long way for building up a presence on LinkedIn. I think so many people now use LinkedIn like it's Facebook or it's gotten a little less corporate, or some people are just so stiff. I think that there's a very happy medium where you can be yourself and use the 3GT rule.
I love that. Since so much visibility today happens online, do you have any advice for women who want to be authentic, intentional, but they don't want to feel like they're performing for the internet? That big word this year. And I think 2025's word of the year, I don't know how you feel about this, should be performative. Everybody is saying it. So, how do we make our social media less performative while still giving and still putting ourselves out there authentically?
I think part of it is performative is a great word. It is a great word. I think a part of it is you need to know what your goal is. You need to know who you are and you need to know what your values are before you approach anything else. We can all chase trends. We're women. We can adapt to any situation and be absolutely fantastic at it. But the real truth is, what do you want to be known for? What do you want to achieve? What is your end goal? And once you know that, nothing that will get in that way of the goal should come into your communications message. It should only be things that dovetail in, that help move your message and yourself forward. The other thing I've found more of actually isn't, well, there's 2 things. One, don't overshare. Social media is not your personal journal. It is not a place to air grievances. It is not a place to overshare or tell everyone every single thing about you or walk them through the entire floor plan of your home. If those are things you want to do, there's therapists, there's friends, there is literally a journal that you can write in. That is not what social media is for. And I
Wait,
try.
what? Wait,
Oh, no,
what? Are you sure?
it's not. It's not. No, I promise you. All those things are wrong. If that's the kind of attention you're seeking, it's fine. It probably is not going to help you if you have business goals, unless you're in a certain kind of business. But I can't think of any of my clients are in where that would be beneficial for them. It might keep me really busy and employed, but I don't see it moving their causes forward. The other thing that I would bring up is you have to come from a place of service. You have to truly know what you stand for and want to help the next person. Because if your heart's not in it, people are going to notice. Just like when back in the day when we used to do sales calls or we used to pick up the actual phone for PR, we were always taught to smile before we start talking. Because if you smile before you start talking, it sounds like you're engaged and happy to be making this phone call. You don't sound like a robot, right? I want people to smile before they get on social media. Do you really want to be there or is it something you hate? Is it truly even a place you need to be? Like, is your target audience on Instagram? Is your target audience on TikTok? Is your target audience on LinkedIn? Because if they're not, I'm giving you permission to not be on those places. You don't have to be everywhere, or you don't have to be on the hottest trend. I'm never going to dance on a reel, and I don't care. It's never gonna hold my business back. My clients are never gonna dance on Reels. I'm probably never gonna join TikTok. All those things, could they move my business forward? Yeah, in a way I don't want them to. And so it doesn't align with my goals, so it falls by the wayside. I think it's knowing where you stand and firmly having the belief that this is what I wanna achieve. This is my goal. This is what I want for KJ moving forward. The rest is just noise. But also, as women, a point I really wanna stress, we are so worried about what other people think of us. And I was like this for a very, very long time too. I come from a small town. Everybody talks about you, whether you want them to or you don't want them to. And I think as women, we're just taught, to stay small, to stay in our box, to never go outside where society has placed us. It's none of our business what anyone else thinks about us. And whether it's cringe to someone, it might be the catalyst that inspires someone else to move forward. I posted something this morning about, hey, I'm finally stepping into my business and owning my story, like I've been telling my clients to for years. It's been gangbusters for my business. KJ a couple years ago would die inside to know that I posted a picture of myself on social media. I would have torn it apart. And I would have been so worried what other people thought about me being vain or braggy or that sort of thing. But no, me putting myself out there, being vulnerable, being honest about, hey, this is what's growing my business. I know it's going to grow your business too. That's what other people are looking for. That's what my target audience is looking for. And I think women need to remember that. Don't worry about what anyone else will think, because worrying about what other people think won't pay your bills. It's not going to put food on your table. It's not going to help you win awards or speak internationally or do any of the cool things you want to do. So, blinders on, worry about yourself. Just post. Just post.
KJ, first of all, we could be best friends because I am 45, you
Mhm.
know, and I think I'm finally at that point as well, right? We're finally at the point where we do not care. And a confidence and an air of confidence has maybe come into our lives where we're like, okay, let's do it. This
Mhm.
is how I am going to be a boss lady. Put it out there. Do it. Do what you're passionate about. So that's exciting. The only thing we might differ on, though, is if you checked out my TikTok, because I'm learning how to use TikTok. And girl, I posted a video from Halloween of me dancing with my BFF. So you would just die. You'd be like, Jody, your PR strategy is messed up.
No, I wouldn't, because Jody, that's authentically you. It's dancing with your BFF. You're showing the
Yeah.
human side of yourself. That completely acceptable. You just doing it because everyone else is dancing to the latest
Right.
Cardi B song, maybe not what you need to do to move your business forward. So there's a true difference. There's one that comes from ego and thirst trap and wanting clicks and chasing trends, and there's the other one for just letting your guard down for 5 seconds and having a good time so people know you're not a robot. Like,
Okay, good.
very big difference. So no, I would not. I support your TikTok. And there are Tik
I think that the community got the message.
Yeah. Yeah, well, hey, it's Halloween. If you can't have
Right.
fun on Halloween, what can you do?
That's so true. And I love the permission, right? Sometimes I think we as women, we are looking for that validation of like, this was in my heart. I did it. But was it the right move? Okay, yeah. It felt right in the moment. It was right. I have had a lot of feedback. My business and my platform are so different, right? So yeah, that is kind of cool. That works. Well, so what do you think are the smartest ways that women can use social media to build that visibility and attract PR opportunities? Maybe not candy from on a Halloween day, but just that PR opportunity that people are looking for, that real business savvy.
Sure. I think it's like we talked about before. I think it's pick one platform, just one. You don't have to do them all. But where is your target audience, your ideal client, the person who can benefit the most from your thought leadership or area of expertise? Where are they? Pick that platform. That's where you're going to show up. And then the second thing is just a reminder, confidence isn't loud, it's rooted. True confidence, it's not about proving you're better than someone else. It's about knowing your value so deeply that you don't need permission to own it. Comparison and perfectionism, they're just distractions. So confidence grows when you act despite the fear. So not when you wait for the fear to disappear, right? So you're going to pick your platform where your people show up. You're going to step into your confidence and like your circle of expertise, and you're going to truly give a post here or there for 90 days. You're going to commit to 90 days for showing up for your people, and you're going to build expertise. You're going to see people starting to engage. There might be no one on an Instagram live for you at your first Instagram live. After 90 days, they're going to be showing up. You have to train people where you're going to be so they can come to you for information. And I think that's how I would hope women would show up on social media. One, I want them to show up. Two, I want them to show up confidently. But three, I only want them to show up where they truly need to be. You don't have to do all the things.
This is such a different world than you and I started out in. I was used to getting press releases from PR people who I would then review, book on the TV show, the news program. This is so much different. And you have an upcoming book called Pitch Worthy. And pitching comes in such different ways today. You're not giving out the press release, maybe, but we're so excited about this book. Can you tell us a little bit more about it and what inspired you to write it?
Sure. Pitchworthy is basically the natural evolution of my work. I wrote a book 3 years ago called How to Be a Media Darling, and it taught women the basic tenets of public relations. You don't need to hire someone that's a huge PR firm. It's not for celebrities, it's for everyone. I was a small business owner. I saw my friends who were small business owners. Small business owners are the livelihood of our country. It is what drives our economy. If they can't get the attention they need to spur their business on, what can we do? Like that's a sad thing. So for me, the media's come a long way since 2019. The world is very different than it was in 2019. And so Pitchworthy is natural evolution of my work. It teaches people how to own their spotlight long term with clarity, consistency, and credibility. And it's not about just becoming newsworthy or the next biggest name or having 15 minutes of fame. It's about how to be trusted and in demand and how to have longevity. So you keep being known as the expert in your industry time and time and time and time again.
Building on that, why do you think it is writing and whether it be articles, books, or even sharing those insights online? Why is that so important for women and professionals to establish themselves as experts in the field?
I think it's important because it helps. First of all, writing it down and sharing it clarifies your narrative. You get to tell your story your way, right? It sums up who you are, what you do, why it matters. And then saying it loudly to other people is your business card. You're getting to network with other folks. Why I think it's important to women, why I think they need to do it, why we should be doing more of it. Because if you don't speak up, someone who doesn't know what they're talking about will. And I think as women, we're nurturers. We want to see other people succeed. We want to help other people move forward. We might be, you talking to someone about your area of expertise might be the one shiny spot in someone's day that pulls them out of the abyss or motivates them to chase their dreams or helps them go after that promotion they thought they weren't going to get. You have to share your story because if you don't speak up, how's the world ever going to know how great you are?
Visibility in leadership is action. I mean, that is, if there's one thing that I've learned, it's that put yourself out there. You are a leader, and you not only will be seen, but you will inspire and people will take action. And that is just such a sweet little box with a bow on it that you gave us today, KJ. Appreciate it. Well, finally, today, what's one small action do you think that our listeners can take this week to start showing up, sharing their story, or building that visibility in their own way?
I think they should start by clarifying their narrative, clarifying their story. Write down one paragraph that sums up who you are, what you do, why it matters. Then start saying it out loud to yourself, to friends. See if it resonates. See if it feels natural to you. See if it makes you a little bit nervous, a little bit excited, like, oh, I don't know if I'm that big yet, but it should. It should scare you just a little bit. It should be just outside your comfort zone. And then use it in bios, use it on social media, at networking events, because you're going to find that by describing yourself that way, you're training people how to describe you. And once you've nailed down your narrative, you can repeat that everywhere. It's going to build comfort. Comfort's going to build confidence. Confidence is going to have you put yourself out there more. And putting yourself out there more is going to give you tons of free press, more opportunities, speaking gigs, promotions, whatever you want.
The doors just open when you finally figure out what your message is,
Yes.
for sure. KJ, thank you so much for sharing your insight, your humor today, and your energy with us. You've given us a whole new way to think about visibility, not just as self promotion and performative, but as a way to lead, connect, and create that really strong impact. So, for everyone listening or watching today, of course, you can learn more about KJ's work and her upcoming book and her PR strategies at hearsaypr.com, or you can follow her on Instagram at KJ Blattenbauer. If you've enjoyed this episode, of course, we have to say it. Please subscribe, leave a review, and share it with a woman who inspires you. Every single story that we share strengthens the visibility of women everywhere. And that's exactly what this community is all about. Until next time, I'm Jody O'Brien, and this was Influential Women. Keep showing up, keep growing, and keep leading courageously.
Can we do it?